everybody on YouTube? It's your boy, the Memphis Accelerate, welcoming you back to the 100 Days of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where every day for 100 days, we're dueling with a different deck every single day. Today, everybody, is day number 13 of the 100 days. And guess what? We're taking a look at good old-fashioned Melffy Sprights. Those all-powerful sprites and all their level 2 shenanigans swarming the board, along with these totally adorable little critters. And we got ourselves a deck capable of just totally filling up the board with our cards, making a nice setup, and then swinging for game. It's what we like to do, and it's a nice deck. Melffy Spright's pretty powerful and can do a lot of things. So, we got ourselves our deck here today, thanks to Mr. JRPG King, who wanted to see some good old-fashioned Melffy Sprights and see how they fare in today's game. It's been a while since we've seen the Melffy Sprights, but I feel that they can still do quite a lot. So, of course, we got our deck here today. If you want to know the whole list, it'll be at the end of the episode, so tune in for that. But for now, we're going to go into EDO Pro, that Wild West Yu-Gi-Oh! Show off the wombos and the combos and the what do's and the what not do's, and have ourselves a good old time. So, let's get started. Alrighty, our first opponent, another day, another card game. We go first or second, but I prefer to go first more than everything else. We have a lot of setup-y thingies we do with this deck, and this ought to work just fine. We're going to start off with Nimble Beaver. Very nice monster. We summon this dude out. You can summon another Nimble monster from the deck. Very nice indeed. We're going to use these two boys. We're going to go ahead and make our Link monster, Sprights Combine. A very nice boy. When he gets summoned, I get to send a level 2 to the graveyard. There's a lot of combo-y things in this deck. You got to pay attention. We send the Nimble Angler. This guy gets sent to the grave. You get to summon 2 Nimble monsters. Pretty powerful, except I have one in the hand, so I don't actually get to do everything I'd like to do. So, not the strongest opening board, but I can keep going. Who says I can't keep going? Did you think I was done? Not quite. We have Gigantic Sprite. You can use links to summon this dude, if there are link 2, of course. Oh, it's all about number 2 in this deck, but we ain't no shitters. We're going to use Gigantic Sprite's effect. We're going to detach our, let's see, yeah, doesn't matter what we detach, but we're going to special summon another Sprite monster. In this happenstance, we're going to get this guy, Sprite Blue. When Sprites get special summoned, they do stuff. Sprite Blue's effect will activate, and I get Sprite Jet to my hand. Then, because I have this level 2, I can just special summon Sprite Elf. Not Sprite Elf. Sprite Elf is banned. Sprite Jet, however, is totally legal. And this gets me a Sprite Spell Trap. There's a lot of things I can get. I'm going to go and get Sprite Double Cross. Just so I have a little bit of an interruption. I can attach a monster to my Gigantic Sprite. And as for next, since we do need the Mellfys on board as well, we're going to overlay these two and put this over here. We're going to summon Mellfy of the Forest. Attach a material from this dude to get a Mellfy. In this case, we want the Wallaby. The Wallaby is king in this case. And set a couple cards, and that ought to do just fine. So in the end phase, Mellfys, like they always do, summon themselves. So we'll summon Wallaby. So we got ourselves a nice little setup here. I've got my Mellfy that'll keep searching me cards. When my Mellfys bounce, I can target monsters in and interrupt what they do. And since my opponent normal summoned, we're going to use Mellfy Wally's effect. We're not going to Ash ourselves, though. We're going to use Mellfy Wally's effect. This will summon two Mellfys. I got Wally on the brain. We're going to get Mellfy Puppy and the cat. We want these two because we need to search out the field afterwards. As soon as my opponent does a monster effect, I can just keep using my monster's effect. And this guy is playing... let's see. What is he playing? He's playing the Burning Abyss strategy. I've seen this before. I've played this before. So we're going to go ahead and use both of these effects. And of course, I also have the Mellfy Forest. I can target a monster, negate its effects. I don't need to do that right at the moment. But we're going to use Mellfy Puppy's effect. We're going to go ahead and summon out Kalantosa, aka Shaman. And then Cat's going to bounce itself back. And I'm going to add myself a penny. Because my monster got returned to the hand, I can now use its effect whenever I so choose. So go ahead and pop ourselves that. We'll pop the Tur guy of the underworld, interrupt my opponent's flow. That's what we're trying to do. Set up, interrupt my opponent's flow. What is this? Nightmare Throne. I'm not familiar with this card. Like, I think this is like new Yubel support. I can see Yubel in there. There she is. This card's activate, take a Fiend, 0, take defense of the deck, add hand or destroy it. Interesting. Okay. You've already normal summoned, so you can't summon it now. But good on you, sir. But yeah, I've also got, let's show off, let's set up Penny. Let's show off Penny. I can synchro summon by special summoning this dude, and using a Mellfy in my hand. And we're gonna go for the Merry Melffys. Doesn't really matter who we use. We've already used up a lot of our Mellfy stuff. It's very quick acting the Melffys. But yeah, this lets me bounce a card back to the hand. Almost said pop. That's Shaman's thing. So yeah, that's what this deck is trying to do. Go first, set things up, flood the board, interrupt the opponent. We're very much into interrupts in this deck. It's not so much about the negates. Not with this one. Let's see here. I'm locked into things. If you use Gigantic Spright, neither player can summon except for low-level monsters, level 2, rank 2. Gotta be careful about that, but I'd like to make an access code talker. Let me think about this. Let's go ahead and empty deck a little bit. Go ahead and get our other Mellfy Wally. And then, let me think about this. I don't want to use Gigantic Spright's effect right now. That would be a bad thing. Let's special summon Bright Blue. How do you do? See, this is what this deck likes to do. We just like to keep swarming out things. And let's see, this guy's monster effect big. So we're going to get Spright Red. Because it is monster effect negate. We'll special summon that as well. Let's see, I need more monsters of the big variety. So what we're going to do, we've already used our Mellfys. So we're going to use 2 of them from 8 Masquerena. And we're going to go ahead and normal summon Mellfy Wally. We're going to go ahead and keep on making. Let's see, 2 monsters from the extra deck. I do need more extra deck stuff. So, Mellfy, get those guys going. The Mellfys are going into it. Target a card in the field or in either grave. Sure. Why not? I don't often use that effect, but why the heckin' not? Let's banish that field spell. I don't trust it. I don't trust no fieldy spells. I don't got no field spell. Why you? But we'll make access code talker. Our monster will be big. Big. And let me think. Yeah, this works. Let's use Spright. Big old Spright. I could go for a Spright right now. Go for a Spright Jet. Special summon that. And with this, we're going to get our OTK card. That's right, Royal Spright. And we're going to get this. Spright Gamma Burst. It makes all low-level monsters doubled in power till the end of the turn. And that's going to be game right there. Or it would be if I could attack. I can't attack directly. Okay, I got a little too excited there. So sometimes you play a deck like this, you get a little excited playing these things. Is what it is. Alright. That's fine. You know what? Made a slight hiccup, but it's not a big deal. I'm going to use Cat's effect just to let my opponent think I still have another Shaman in the deck. Okay. That was my own fault. I got a little excited there. I was like, okay, I'm going to go for OTKs. Not just yet. Not just yet. That'll be later. That'll be later. Yeah, I forgot about, like, SP Knight. Can't attack directly. Right. I must have can't direct attack this turn. Yep, I got a little excited. I was like, oh, yeah, SP Knight has an effect. I forgot it could do that. But then I was like, oh, wait, I can't attack directly this turn. Yeah, that would have been an OTK. So just remember, don't do what I just did with the whole SP Knight. It's very tempting to do, but if you're going for OTKs, don't do it. We'll bounce back to Mellfy Cat. It's not going to do anything, but, you know. My opponent doesn't always know that. Let's see. Yeah, we'll use Spright Red's effect. Sorry, Blue, how do you do? But you have to go to the graveyard for now. We need to negate that Lotus. I don't want my opponent to have that Lotus if I can help it. And that should be it, because, yeah, now let's go for that OTK. Let's see, 43, 50, 70. Let's see. I can make one dude big. Guess that's better than nothing. Let's go ahead and summon out Nimble Angler. Summon Nimble Angler, activate Gamma Burst, make Nimble Angler big. And that ought to be game right there. Alrighty, so it took one more turn than it should have. But we still got to the game. Or maybe we won't have the game. It depends on what he gonna do. I will negate that. Thank you. And yeah, that should still be just... It's either gonna be... Yeah, that's gonna be enough. That's gonna be plenty. Okay. Good on my opponent. I like to see the new Yubel stuff going into even more Yubel stuff, but today is a day for classical decks, and Sprights Mellfys will not be screwing around. So there you go. That's what this deck likes to do. Like I said, swarm the board, interrupt the opponent, set up for an OTK. It's clean and simple, and that's how we like it. Let's go for duel number 2, and do it again, because that's what we're going to do. Alrighty, second opponent. Let's go and do it again. Again, attempted to go first. I knew it. I kept trying to click scissors, but it wouldn't let me, so I knew. Scissors was wrong. Universe was trying to tell me something. But for now, not bad hand. I don't like the Calantosa in the hand, but other than that, I think we can make this work just fine. Let's go for Beaver. Talk about new support like with Yubel. When are we going to get more Beaver Warrior? I want more Beaver Warriors. Gosh darn it. Alright, where's my Sprights Combine? It's a pretty simple startup with this deck. Like I said, you do it a lot over and over again, but that's how you get the practice in. That's how you learn how to do the deck. We're going to send our nimblest of anglers and do it again. And hope we don't... let's see. Oh yeah, I can't get Nimble Angler. Okay, that's fine. You know why it's fine? So we can still make Gigantic Sprite and get it all started anyway. And I still have Wally, so it's all good. So let's go ahead and activate our Giant Sprite. Keep it going. Keep it going. Beaver. Beaver into blue, how do you do? Yes, sir. And that's what this deck does. Like I said, you do it the same way a lot of the times, but at the same time, you know, you're learning how to do the deck. You go through the motions. It's like riding a bicycle. You don't forget how to do that. We'll get our Sprite Jet out. And I could get a lot of things. I could get Sprite Starter for another monster. I get Sprite Smashers, which would allow me to banish a card of my opponents. But like I said, I like to get the Sprite Double Cross. What I like to get in this deck. Alright, we also have... well, we don't have the spell... Oh, there he is. Set this. Special summon. Carrot. That's the thematic thing of this deck. We got Rabbit. We got Melffy Rabby. There's a carrot. Does Melffy Rabby want to eat the carrot? Potentially, yes. But what do I want to do now? Let me think. I could make Mellfy the forest. I don't really need to. But at the same time, I kind of want to. That makes sense. Target 2 faces cards on the field. Click a monster. You control banish till the end. The thing is, I need to keep Carrot on the board. But then again... yeah. Use these two and make SP Knight, just so I have some more interruption. You know, that's what I like in this deck, is a lot of interruption. So, really, what's going to happen all depends on my opponent. It really does. If he's going to be summoning stuff, I've got something to bounce and equip onto my boy. I've got Carrot to negate any spell traps. I got Wally to get Cat and Dog. Sadly, though, I have Calantosa, but I can make it work somehow. You know, I can make it work. This is one of them things you call, like, Garnet. No. I want to, but no, I think I'll be okay. Let's see. Target a monster on the field. Yeah, I hope he doesn't summon, like, I don't know. Dupa Dupa Dragon. That would be bad. Yeah. Sorry, SP Knight. But I kind of want to keep everything else right now. Oh. Yeah, that's not good. That's a forbidden triplet. Alright, you gotta ditch... Well, probably just gonna ditch Melody, but he might ditch something else to negate Wally. That's not necessarily good. Okay. Okay. Gonna negate my carrot, so he's gonna get 2 dragons. Blue peeps. Indeed. Suppose it really depends on... Okay, just alternate dragon. That's not that bad. No, we're good. Yeah, I could swipe a card from his graveyard too, but unless he tries to do something with the grave, I don't think I need to do that. Okay. So he's gonna go ahead and summon out that. I'm gonna be like, Melffy Wallaby. That's gonna summon out the cat and the dog. Still waiting for Melffy Cat Dog. That would be weird, but it would also be... Just make like an actual fusion of the two. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna interrupt this guy right now, because he's just gonna try and pop me with that. If he's gonna already try to interrupt me, I'm gonna interrupt him first. So I'm gonna attach his monster to my Sprite Boy. Okay, so he has 2 blue eyes in the hand, right? Well, now he has 1 in the grave. That's the thing. Blue eyes are capable of massive damage, but they need a lot of setup to do it. They have a lot of options to set up too. Plus, once per turn, this thing. Can he summon more than 1 alternate dragon a turn? I don't know, but he can definitely go for Levianeer. How many light monsters does he have in the graveyard? Enough. Exactly enough. Alrighty, that's a trouble. That's a trouble, but, you know. I still have Melffy Cat to get the seal, and then the seal can bounce stuff. Let's see. I really wish you were in the deck, Calantosa. You were really screwing with me right now. Your whole shtick is stay in the deck, Calantosa. I don't know why you thought it was a good idea to come out now, okay? I'm sorry, but you're not supposed to be in the hand. You're a little fluffy bunny with a bush on its back. You're a chia pet. Not supposed to be here. Alright. Polly-wally, you say? Alright, what are you polly-wallowing into? I assume, but do not wish to. Okay, it's just gonna be Twin Burst Dragon. No, Tyrant Dragon. Summon, blah, blah, blah. Unaffected by traps. Attacks all monsters. Cool. Very neat. Let's go for Melffy Penny. Come forth, my seal! And we shall synchro summon together. And it doesn't really matter who. Just summon the seal. And that ought to interrupt my opponent pretty good. I mean, granted, he still has his Levianeer, but he can't attack with the darn thing. Got nothing left in his grave, because he banished everything. That's the thing about Blue Eyes. They're very much all go all in or go home sort of deck. You know? Like I said, they could do a lot of damage. That Tyrant Dragon is not something to screw with. 3,400 massive attacker. And by massive, I mean attack everybody on the board. But unfortunately, my opponent underestimated Melffy Spright power. So, since he did that, what are we going to do? So many options, so little time. I could make Excess again, but I feel like that'd be... Monsters that you have in the grid. Wait a minute. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. During your main phase, attach material. Summoning level 2. Neither player can special summon for the rest of the turn except for... Okay, so that'll interrupt the Jet Dragon. That's a good thing. We will need to remember that. Let's... I want to summon all the things. So what we're going to do here is use these two. Make our Sky Cavalry Centuria. Is this the smartest thing to do? Not necessarily. Is it what we're gonna do? Yes. Why, you ask? Because, honestly, it doesn't matter. I just want to show off everything this deck can possibly do. I don't want to just make excess Kotaku. I know I made the bicycle analogy earlier, but sometimes you just got to go off the beaten path, too. We'll go ahead and activate our Sprite Boys effect. And if this goes through, which I hope it does, that'll lock him out of going for his Jet Dragon. Neither player can special summon high-level monsters. Never mind. Kinda redundant, but okay. Okay, that's what you want to do. You know what? No. I'm very tempted to summon Calantosa. I shouldn't, though, because Calantosa is a small bunny. Okay, this isn't Monty Python. I'm not summoning rabbits into battle. We'll just attack with everybody. And look how happy these Mellfys are. Who is this Mellfy? This is like a polar bear Mellfy? Why is he not a card? Like, I see Cat, I see Rabby. Not sure who that is. Or some of these Mellfys are like, it's kind of like with the Ojamas. Like, you see in the background, like, little critters that are definitely Mellfys, but they don't exist so much. Do I need to do that? I mean, I might as well, like I said, show off what the deck can do. And I could have used Centuria for this, too, but this way I'll have just, like, a ton of materials on this. Go ahead and make Sky Thunder. Why not? Why not? Like I said, we're just trying to do everything. And we'll summon Melffy Wally just to scare my opponent. Just to be like, hey, you want to try and do something again, son? Do you want to try something again, sir? Alright, so we're pretty much set. I mean, he's top decking. He's got a graveyard, but Blue Eyes don't use a lot from the grave. Shouldn't. What does this? Oh, what does this do? Main face summon this card from the hand, takes 700 damage. Face up Dragon Synchro is tributed. Card from the graveyard. Okay. I guess he really wanted to summon Assault Synchron. Personally, I would have specialed this in attack mode and rammed it into Sky Thunder and gone off on my own terms, but my opponent can do whatever they please. Yeah, that can't summon itself. Jet can't summon itself. Assault Synchron cannot do anything itself. So, yeah, I think this is game right here. A good showing by the Blue Eyes. I mean, like I said, they take a lot of setup to do things, especially the Fusion variant do. But gave it his all. He summoned a nice Fusion monster. I was just too prepared for it. Melffy Sprights are just really good at interrupting the opponent. And that's just what we did. I mean, if he had gone first, might have been a little trickier. I mean, I would have had to have gone for excess code to clear out big monster. But then again, he had droplet too. So, could have gone either way if he'd gone. If my opponent had gone first, probably be a few returns in the future and a few more life point equivalents. But I'm pretty sure this is game right here. And my opponent's just kinda... I think I muted opponents, like, testing. So, I'll just unmute that now. In case he's trying to swear at me. It could be either way. But yeah, let's go ahead and into duel numero tre. There's not much left to show off, but we'll show off summoning Calantosa. Alright, everybody, the third and final opponent to fight in third. And so far, Melffy Sprights have done exactly what we wanted them to do. We've swarmed board, gone first. I have lost my Fez, but that's okay. This opening hand, though, was kind of meh. A little meh. We'll see where it goes. I do have my spare Kostura. It's like a little side tech just to have a monster that can, you know, interrupt my opponent more. Like I said, it's that kind of deck. Can I make... Yeah, I can still do it. I can still do it. That's the nice thing about it. I'll lose Fenrir, but who cares about Fenrir? He's done his job. He searched me another Fenrir, so I don't, you know, I'll have a backup. But we're going to go ahead and where is... Ooh, this guy. And this time I'll get 2 monsters, which is even better than getting the 1. And we'll get a couple of beavers. I feel like a fur trapper back in the 1800s. I got some beaver. But yes, we'll go ahead and summon out our big old Sprite boy. And we should be able to set up a nice little board. I've got my Sprite. Oh, if you're wondering why his power's doubled, it's because I've Sprined on him as a material. Kind of why you want to keep that on him as long as possible. This is just a nice thing. So we'll go for blue, how do you do? it's a beautiful thing, Sprights. You know, I've had problems with them back in the day, but really it's the player more than the deck. The Sprights on their own, just a nice little swarm option, nice little utility that they have. You know, the whole lockdown thing was just from other stuff. Man, have we not used Sprite Starter all game? Should I? I'll have another Nagat. Do I need another Nagat? You know what, we haven't shown it off yet, so, like I said, we gotta try and show off everything, so we're gonna activate Sprite Starter. I can summon Sprite from the deck. Let's see, I have a monster negate. Like a spell negate, too. We'll summon the carrot. And then I'll lose life equal to my monster's attack. That's how that goes. We'll go ahead and use these two. Be like, hello. I have a Mellfy. Nice to meet you. And this should be a pretty effective board. I mean, I've got a Wallaby. I've got a carrot. Wallabies have nothing to do with carrots. And my opponent surrenders. Huh. I don't really want to call that game, though, because my opponent didn't do anything. I mean, I guess they rage quit. That's one thing. Alright, well, normally I wouldn't count that as a duel, but we've really shown off everything this deck does in the first two duels. There really wasn't much else we were gonna see unless... I mean, if my opponent had something to out this, he wouldn't have left. You know, I was almost done with my turn. I mean, I was just gonna set 2, pass. That was it. But clearly my opponent had nothing, so I'm just gonna call it a game, because... You know, every once in a while I'm going to count one of these. Not often, but today I will. So let's go for the end screen. Alrighty, everybody. Melffy Sprights went 3-0, and they did exactly what we wanted to every single time. It's very consistent pile of cards. All you do is just go into the Sprite, go into the big guys, summon all the little dudes, set up a nice board. You don't need to worry about negates too much. I mean, we have a couple negates, but that's not really the focus of the deck. It's all about that interruption, baby. Stopping my opponent from establishing their setup and going for game. Just lots of damage. And got the OTK despite the fact that I didn't read one line of text. I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player. I can't read. Okay, that's how it goes. That's the old meme. I'm sticking with that as my explanation. So, we got to show off the Sprights and the Mellfys pretty good. I'm happy with it. So, before we say goodbye, here's the deck list. So for our main deck in this deck today, we have 2 copies of Castor Fenrir, 3 copies of Ass Blossom, 3 copies of Sprite Jet, 2 copies of Sprite Red, 3 copies of Sprite Blue, 2 copies of Sprite Carrot, 2 Nimble Anglers, 3 Nimble Beavers, 1 copy of Melffy Puppy, 1 Penny, 1 Galantosa, 1 Cat, 2 Melffy Wallabies. We have 2 copies of Triple Tactical Talent, 2 copies of Sprite Starter, 1 Call of Grave for obvious reasons, 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet, we have 1 Sprite Gamma Burst, a Sprite Smashers, triple Imperm, and 1 Sprite Double Cross. For the extra deck, pretty simple, 1 Masquerena, 1 Sprite Sprind, 1 SP Little Knight, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Excesco Talker, 1 Mekk-Knight Crusaria of Ramax, 1 Mellfy of the Forest, 1 number 64 Ronin the Raccoon, Hondoy. 2 copies of Gigantic Sprite, 1 copy of Sky Cavalry Centuria, 1 Joyous Mellfy, 1 Downward Magician with Pal AA Zeus, and last but certainly not least, 1 Merry Mellfys. I had another penny for some reason in the side deck. Doesn't really matter because we only really need the 1. So, thank you everybody for stopping by. This has been our deck. Stop by tomorrow for some gustos. We're going to be going second tomorrow. Today was first, tomorrow's second, and then we're starting Troll Week. Oh, yeah. So, thank you, everybody, for watching today's episode. If you did enjoy, you know what to do. Likes and comments and subscriptions, all that jazz. Whatever you feel like doing. So, till next time, everybody, y'all stay safe. Y'all stay happy. You have a good one. See you there.